50 points on offer for a race win. Importantly, remember, if you were watching yesterday, they got Whincup out and he's sort of trickled around, still with a power steering drama with that car. 24th place may not seem like much, but 10 points was the offer, and that's important.
It certainly is, and they're already talking about the championship battle, Neil, so only 4 rounds in, and we're in Auckland, New Zealand. Pukekohe Park Raceway, a great racetrack, a lot of history, 2.91 kilometres, 11 turns. Very, very fast. 35 laps for race 11, another 35 laps for race 12. We won't talk sectors anymore, we'll just talk about how this works. Let's take a look at our Fuso starting grid. And for the factory teams, a great effort for James Courtney and Mark Winterbottom to be on the front row. Chaz Mostert and Jamie Whincup got a little hand there because McLaughlin penalised 2 spots back to 5. The battle there with Perkat will be interesting. Nick Perkat's done a great job. Shane Van Gisbergen and yesterday's winner, Jason Bright. Todd Kelly, great job. He's the fastest of the Nissans at this point. Tim Slade alongside him in position 10. Garth Tander, position 11. Dave Reynolds in 12. Engine change for him, as Neil said. Fabian, not good enough in qualifying. 13th. Scott Pye for DJR in 14. Craig Lowndes, series leader in 15th position at this point. Very disappointing also for Lee Holdsworth and Will Davison, a long way down. Engine change there for Caruso. Rick Kelly, very unlucky in qualifying. Red flag got him. He would have been right at the front. Jack Perkins and Dale Wood, 21 and 22. Russell Engel and Robert Dahlgren are the rear of the grid. Dahlgren, car fixed from qualifying, on the grid now.
But not fixed. The car of David Wall, damaged yesterday. This is his teammate Scotty Pye, Wilson Security Racing, Dick Johnson Racing, and the sister car to this was badly damaged in contact. Turns 10 and 11 with Chaz Mostert. This is David Reynolds, Potlow Ford. We're on board with Davey.
And he was complaining about the engine performance. That's why in that very compact day yesterday, they didn't get a chance to change it, and they changed it overnight. So he should be going better as a consequence of that. We've got 10 in-car cameras covering the field for you. Will Davison.
You know how we see that pause in qualifying where all of a sudden everybody comes in and jams up pit lane and the track is all but empty for a couple of minutes? Twice today I noticed for qualifying 11 and 12, Todd Kelly went out on an empty track, and you look at where he's qualified, he's done very well. He's ended up in 9th position for this one, so that's good news, and I think well played given the congestion at a place like this.
No doubt, that was Scott McLaughlin's heart rate. There's Fabian's, it's pretty low there at the moment, 129. Not only are these guys fit, but this will be stressful.
Yeah, and it will be down here on the start line. Now, whilst James Courtney's on pole, the place to be really is over where Mark Winterbottom is. Because I was looking at the tarmac here before. Look, there's actually a different tarmac on the inside than the outside. And what you've got to do, because turn 1 goes this way, you actually want to be on the left-hand side for turn 2. This will be an advantage to Mark Winterbottom. I'll be surprised if he doesn't win the start.
Thanks, Larko. Career pole number 6, James Courtney. He's got control on the inside. Yesterday, that proved to be not the quick way off this grid.
Green flag, green flag.
Field cleared. That's the view. 24 cars. Lights up. And into it. Very even start. Somebody stalled near the back. It's one of the Erebus cars. Stationary on the grid, but now away.
Great job, Courtney, to get round there, but I think Winterbottom was able to take it off him. Oh, contact there with Bright and Van Gisbergen. Crisscross now.
So nice job, and using the clean side of the road to advantage Mark Winterbottom. That's Scott Pye on the left. We're riding with Fabian Coulthard. He's going to have the inside run. They're all on cold tyres to turn number 5. This has been an area of the track that's caused a few dramas this weekend with that new surface upsetting the car's bump control on the braking area run into there.
Lowndes in a very precarious position around the outside of Todd Kelly. Don't want to be on the outside there, so he's back on the inside now for the hairpin. This will be better. You just need to make sure that you don't get caught now at the fast left.
Todd Kelly's not fared well at all in this opening lap. He's having a battle here with Scotty Pye. This happened yesterday and it got spooky. A little bit more room given today. That's worked. And Todd Kelly holds position. Oh, off the road, in the grass, Craig Lowndes. We've seen it several times this weekend and he survives.
Back to 16th position for Lowndes. So he made some spots and he's fallen back out since then.
0.3 of a second is the gap. Winterbottom to Courtney, then it's Whincup, then Mostert, then Perkins moved up one from his qualifying position. McLaughlin's dropped a spot. Bright, Van Gisbergen, David Reynolds, Tim Slade. That's your 10.
Will Davison was the guy that missed the kick then with the start problem, Neil.
And unstable under brakes there for Jamie Whincup into turn 5. McLaughlin had a look as well. There wasn't space.
Now between the Western Sydney boys, there was a bit of aggro at turn 1 with Winterbottom around the outside of Courtney. And I like it when Mark Winterbottom is forceful. That was a forceful move. He shoved the Falcon across the front of the HRT Commodore.
He battled on yesterday, and I think did a pretty mighty job.
Gone. So a spot gone for Whincup. He was right out where Lowndes was on the previous lap. Mostert gets by.
Successive laps where those Red Bull Holden Commodores have ended up in the green stuff. Cannot do that. So now Perkins is right under the rear wing of Whincup. It's going to make the point, Scapey, that Winterbottom yesterday finishing 13th, and they had real steering damage with that car because of the time proximity between events yesterday. So he did a mighty job to just soldier on and try and get some valuable points. Whincup under pressure. They're not quite there with setup, are they, this weekend? Red Bull Racing Australia.
The real winners and losers, Dave Reynolds gained 3 positions early. As Van Gisbergen gets down the inside of yesterday's winner. Still a bit of contact. And Van Gisbergen ran Jason out of road then. That might have bent the steering. May have bent the steering on Bright's car then. Bright loses another spot, and Dave Reynolds comes up. So Dave Reynolds now up 4 spots. Todd Kelly down 4 spots.
So Jason Bright not happy about that. Bit of a chance that the steering's been tweaked, and Andrew Edwards just confirming, please make sure that you're safe.
On board now with Tim Slade right behind yesterday's winner. And as we saw with that contact with Van Gisbergen, he didn't just lose the spot to Shane, he lost another spot to Dave Reynolds. Van Gisbergen showing good pace. So Winterbottom, Courtney, Mostert, Whincup, Perkins, McLaughlin, Van Gisbergen, Reynolds, Bright, and on board with Slade. That is 10 positions.
And fastest first sector split on this lap for Van Gisbergen. The fastest lap of the race is Winterbottom at the moment. So right here just trying to gather up and find his rhythm again. Now he's side by side with Slade at 10.
You hold your breath. Oh, you hold your breath every time that happens. That is as wild as you would ever see. That's 200 kilometres an hour, bumping between the change of direction. Garth Tander now trying to get a run down the inside. I thought Bright was gone then.
I reckon he probably did too. That's a little bit naughty. Because the consequences there, if everybody gets it wrong, you don't want to think about it. So Tim Slade just giving Jason Bright a little touch up through that final corner when the rear of the car, Bright's car that is so light and sliding, and he's trying to gather it back up.
They got round the left really nicely. We saw the big accident yesterday with David Wall and Chaz Mostert, but he did a good job there. And now Slade down the inside. He's going to push him wide. Bright holds his ground. Slade goes the long way. Bright pushes him into the grass. Slade bounces back and punches the left-hand front wheel right off the front. Super cheap auto Commodore now damaged. Significant damage. It'll be one of the front A-arms.
We'll take it off there. Come into the pits. Take it easy.
You can't play dodgem cars like that.
This is Andrew Edwards, engineer for Team BOC, Jason Bright. That was serve and return of serve on repeat cycle over more than a lap, and that's been costly. Winterbottom, 3/4 of a second margin, fastest lap of the race still. Car number 5 in command. He's got it out now to 0.8 or a little over. Bright, meantime, dropped all the way down to 12th. Here it is again in replay. So it went on and on at turn 6, a little bit of contact, and Bright is making sure that Slade's got nowhere to go, and that's in response to what he would not have liked at the final corner. He would not have been comfortable or happy with that at all.
He would not. There's a response from the Super Cheap Auto Garage. I'm sure there was a similar one about 3/4 of a lap before that when they were coming onto the straight and Slade was into the back of Jason Bright. So, as Neil said, a little bit of tit for tat there, but you can't afford to keep on bumping each other because as soon as you have the wheel-to-wheel contact, then the result is it will pluck a wheel off. As you can see there, the left front of the Superchip Auto Commodore. As I said, significant damage. You can see the wheel just fall out. It's broken the top arm of the AA arm front suspension there.
It's not going anywhere now for this race. They'll have to work pretty hard to get it done for the next.
Tanner's done a pretty good job there. Compo stayed out of trouble. Fabian Coulthard right in behind him. We're going to take a look at a little bit of a rundown of how this has gone down, because it was a great even start. The two factory cars, Courtney and Winterbottom, off the line. It was fantastic. This is on board now with Fabian. So a little bit of a balk there. That's Todd Kelly. That's Garth Tander. So Tander made some ground down the inside. A little bit of rubbing. Around the outside was Pye. And then this was the moment where Lowndes got very wide. He gave a spot away. So he went from 15 to 16. And then straight after that, Whincup on the following lap, he goes from third to fourth, just gets back on again, has a big tank slapper, and just regains control before he can get back on the road behind Mostert. So there was a bit of lively action going on there, especially for the Red Bull guys.
Heart rate monitors would have been interesting in those instances when they were on the grass down there. So the boys are on lap number 8. Race control will investigate the incident between cars 8 and 47. Mark Winterbottom has got control by just a tad over 1 second.
Lap 8, and it's Winterbottom leading the way. Courtney and Mostert, so the Pepsi cars are both up there. And this is not the norm now. Just hearing through from race control. Jason Bright, car 8, is going to be given a pit lane penalty for the contact with Tim Slade. That's interesting. Well, it is for a fight. McLaughlin and Van Gisbergen, the Kiwis, dueling for 6th and 7th. Jason Bright is 12th on the road, but he must respond to the black flag and take the drive-through penalty. Winterbottom's margin out front, 1 second at the line. And this is a place where Ford have not really done much winning. 2 race wins since we've been coming here in the championship. There's been 26 races. Holden have won 24. This might be the chance for Winterbottom to just get one back for Ford. Van Gisbergen looks quick here. Here's Jason Bright.
Copy, Bright. Just 27 to go from here, so just going to push on, see how the car feels.
Race winner yesterday. This effectively becomes a test session because he will rejoin 23rd. The only car behind is Tim Slade, who he had contact with, who is in the lane. McLaughlin here chasing Nick Percat, who sits in position 5. He's qualified well on a fair few occasions this year. This is a chance to rack up another strong result up near the front. He's chasing the champ, Jamie Whincup. McLaughlin's best Kiwi, he's 6th. Then Van Gisbergen, Reynolds, Tander and Coulthard. This is a total sprint, part of the super sprint weekend at Pukekohe. No pit stops, flat chat racing that we've already seen. Plenty of action. Winterbottom with the fastest lap on lap 6, a 104.23. He's got the pace, he's got track position on James Courtney. And remember that his championship rival, Craig Lowndes, the points leader, is back in 14th spot. Let's rejoin Neil Crompton and Mark Scaife with race 11.
On lap number 10 of 35, race 11, the V8 Supercars Championship, Pukekohe Raceway outside Auckland. Hope you're enjoying all the action on 7. It's Winterbottom, Courtney and Mostert. Nice run for him so far. Then Whincup, Percat, McLaughlin, Van Gisbergen. In the break, Jason Bright has been given a pit lane drive-through penalty for his role in the incident at turn 6 with Tim Slade. Mark, your thoughts?
Oh, I think it's unfair, Neil. I think the contact that Slade made with Bright coming onto the straight has huge repercussions on the previous lap. And then there was some tit-for-tat bumping. I would have looked at it after the race and made a call afterwards, but it's put Jason Bright out, which in terms of the Jason Richards Trophy, winning yesterday on Anzac Day and having a run for the rest of the weekend has a huge implication in terms of his eventual result. So for me, I would have looked at that one afterwards.
These guys trying to fight their way into a battle for the top 10. It's Scotty Pye and Todd Kelly. They're currently 11th and 12th. We're looking at Kelly from the rear bumper of the DJR car, and we've got a huge problem here with Robert Dahlgren's car.
Okay, car at the end of pit lane.
He's just limping it down, and he's going to pull it to the right here to the pit lane. You can see the cockpit is just absolutely choked with smoke. So it's a sad end there for Robert, who had a problem earlier, and I'll bet that whatever's gone on here is related to having gone off and some damage. They've had to very quickly turn that car around. He's still tethered up with his radio, but he's got that out the beat pillar. So often in a rushed turnaround situation, there can be a problem with an oil line, or we don't know. We'll find out a little bit later on, but it's been a tough weekend for him, and he was on a very good qualifying lap when he made that mistake earlier. Back to the pits he goes. There it is there, where it's hemorrhaged badly, turn 10.
Interested to see if there's oil under that car or not. Little rotation here.
Will Davison, car number 9. I was about to make a point about him because that Erebus car that I noted when we looked at the replays at the start, I'm pretty sure it was Will that was actually stationary at the start.
Safety car, stand by. When you exit pit lane, you need to be cautious because we have a car passing blocking the pit lane exit.
Voice of Tim Schenk and Barrett's.
Well, just garage with Tim Slade, who is now back out of the car. Tim, that was some pretty spirited rivalry with Jason Bright. Tell us about that, what was going on.
Yeah, I guess there's no previous rivalry, but he wasn't too keen on giving me any racing room. You know, it started sort of past him the hairpin, went side by side, and then you know, he just sort of ran me really wide the second last corner. So yeah, fair enough. And then happened again, obviously, when I tried to pass him at turn 5, and then yeah, around the outside of 6 and ran me clean off the road. And as he sort of hit me once, hit me again, and sort of he was driving past and made contact with my left front, and it's just, yeah, busted the suspension. So, yeah, obviously it's disappointing to get a DNF, especially when you're qualifying the top 10. But, yeah, we'll fight on and go again in the next race at Savo.
Okay, Brighty's had the pit lane penalty. Is that the right result?
Yeah, well, I guess so. I thought it was pretty unfair, the move, you know, that he tried to do. You know, you have to give guys racing room, and it's always, you know, said to us in the driver's briefing that, you know, you can't just run a guy off the road. So, yeah, I guess, you know, justice has been served, but doesn't help our cause back here in the pits.
Right, better luck tomorrow, Tim. Thanks.
Thanks, mate.
Tim Slade, Super Cheap Auto Racing, as Russell Ingall comes into the lane here as well. Not quite sure what the issue is. Rusty's down in 21st. We'll take a quick break while the Petters safety car's out. Come back and join us in a moment.
So Russell Ingall rejoins down the back. Good time if he needed to come on in. And looked like they only changed the fronts on that car, so potentially a flat spot of the like. So he'll rejoin tail of the field. 22nd, Robert Darwin's out. Tim Slade is out. This man leads. Ford fans will be rapt to see this. Second in the championship. This will eat into the margin of Craig Lowndes. It's Winterbottom, the leader here at Pukekohe. It's lap 13 of 35. James Courtney second from Chaz Mostert, Jamie Whincup, Nick Percat.
Safety car, we're just clearing this at the moment, expecting at least another
McLaughlin, Van Gisbergen, Reynolds, Tander, Coulthard. That's the top 10. The 3 Kiwis are all in the top 10. Scott Pye 11 from Todd Kelly, Holdsworth, Lowndes 14th, Rick Kelly, Caruso, Moffat, Wood, Perkins, Will Davison, Jason Bright, Russell Ingall. So the 22 cars that are left for this first race of the day, second of the event, and 11th of the championship, and it's very much at walking pace now. Winterbottom's had the pace so far. He made the best jump off the front row of the grid. He got in front of James Courtney, the pole man. Pit lane's getting a little busy. Guys down the tail of the field coming on in. Jack Perkins in the Geldwen Ford. Jason Bright has already been in. That was for a penalty a couple of laps ago. They're down the back anyway. They may as well roll the dice, throw some tyres at these cars, and see if they can make anything of this race. Remember, it's 50 points to win, and overall points for the weekend. Most points gives a driver the Jason Richards Memorial Trophy, which is held by that man there after winning here at Pukekohe last year when that trophy was first awarded. So a chance to catch our breath. The Petters safety car is on the road at the moment. Mark Winterbottom leads the way. A restart is not too far away in New Zealand. Let's rejoin Mark Scaife and Neil Crompton.
That's the scene here in Auckland. ITM 500. Megawall shows you cars still under the control of the Petters safety car. Race control down bottom left there. Race director is Tim Schenk, in the centre of screen, and to his left is the driving standards observer Jason Bargwanna, who is racing in the New Zealand V8s here this weekend, incidentally, as well. And the reason for this, Robert Dahlgren's Volvo stationary at pit lane exit after...
Yes, safety car lights out, accelerate into pit lane car, 5 to whole speed, 5 to whole speed.
So that car peeled off at turn 10 with a huge amount of smoke coming out of it, Dahlgren's Volvo, and then he was parked in a bad spot. Here's Jason Bright, who's made a subsequent stop, by the way, and our viewer vote question was the drive-through penalty for Bright a fair decision? So you can see it's reasonably evenly split there at the moment. Jump onto the app or onto the website, the V8 website. You can jump into the conversation and have your say. We're racing once more, and the control is held by Mark Winterbottom. No passing before they cross the start-finish control line. Van Gisbergen was looking threatening for position number 6 as they made their way down to turn 1.
It was a very good restart for Van Gisbergen. He was right up behind Scott McLaughlin. That's the turn 4 exit curb. It's a very big, aggressive curb. Remember, last year Mark Winterbottom ran up on there and had a left-hand rear tyre puncture. As Van Gisbergen down the inside with Dave Reynolds. They're alongside each other. Dave again holds ground. This is where the two Slade and Bright cars made contact a little while ago.
And that was looking from the rear bumper of Scott McLaughlin. That was a cool shot at turn 6. Those fellas gave each other racing room, which was cool. It's Winterbottom, half a second over Courtney. They wind themselves into a frenzy there at turn 10. The mid-corner speed is phenomenal. It's about 210 kilometres an hour.
That's why we made reference to the contact with Slade and Bright before at that spot, because it's just so fast, Croppo, that any little contact there normally has massive consequences as we go back from Mark Winterbottom's car. Sorry, we might be on board with Dave Reynolds. Looking back at Tander.
And that'll be the issue for Jason Bright in this debate, which no doubt he'll have a point of view at the end of the race. I've got no doubt that Jason was returning serve at turn 6 and he probably didn't give sufficient racing room to Tim. However, his heart rate would have been off the scale. He just basically would have blown a fuse about being tickled up so much in the final corner.
McLaughlin down the inside of Perkat. Little bump again at the exit. Nick won't be very happy about that.
Drops a spot. Van Gisbergen's going to have a run here now at Perkat as a result of that, because it's taken Nick out of rhythm slightly. So Shane's concentrating on his exit here. He uses all the road. He's very strong in this part of the racetrack. He's got that car working well in the medium high-speed corners. VIP Pet Foods Commodore's the car we're talking about.
I reckon Scotty will be pretty incentivised to get away from Nick at the moment. I need to get away from this bloke because he's going to return serve on me here. So a little bit of a moment there for Nick Perkat out in the grass. Got himself organised. Out the front now of Dave Reynolds' car. We're out of the rear of it before.
Shane having a look. Perkat half-sided him and left 3/4 of a gap. But he's under assault at the moment, and Van Gisbergen looking for the crisscross, and now he makes it stick. He's up there, and Perkat could lose a couple of spots in this manoeuvre. Reynolds wants in as well. Oh, he can't get it done there. He's got to come out of the throttle. He just want to be on the outside on those bumps. It's a going nowhere position. Right here, they grab 6th gear. Cars bounce all over the place. 255 kilometres an hour on the run into 1.
We're just going to quickly interrupt Brad Jones. He can barely take his eyes off the screen. There's so much going on. A couple of laps before, we saw the incident with Tim Slade and Jason Bright. You boys shook your head. He got the penalty. You didn't believe it was fair.
Well, no, it's not so much that it wasn't fair. I mean, he got shoved off the road by Shane earlier, so all I really want is some consistency. I've got no problem with, I know what the rules are, just like anyone, but I'm obviously going to protect my guy and defend him. So, it needs to be the same for everyone.
It's disappointing when you want to defend the Jason Richards Memorial Trophy. You want to take that back home to Albury, and these situations make it tough.
Well, these situations probably mean that that's not going to happen, and that's probably what the head shake's more about than I think the decision is wrong. I think, we won yesterday and now we're last, so chances of us retaining it aren't great. But anyway, we've still got 2 races to go. Plenty can happen, as we've seen what's going out there today. So, we just keep on going and do the best we can and see where we end up.
You saw the viewer vote. 60% of the viewers at home believe that it's an unfair penalty. It's hard to say.
Well, I mean, I think people like to see hard racing, but by the same token, look, all I want to see is some consistency. So, it's great that many people think that, but at the end of the day, it needs to be the same for everyone.
Thanks, Brad.
No worries.
So if you reverse engineer Brad's answer there, what he's saying is that he wasn't endorsing the Jason Bright move on Tim Slade. He was saying what his driver was saying earlier, and Brighty was suggesting that he got a fair shove from Van Gisbergen, and he was not happy at all about what happened in the final corner. That's history now. Bright is fighting back. He's currently 19th. So this is it.
This is the moment that Neil's talking about, Brad's talking about. This is one of the wildest sections of road anywhere that we travel to. Little bump, little bump, little bump at the final corner. And Bright was right out sideways. Check the steering out. Slade stays there, turns into the final corner, bang in the back wheel, sideways at over 200 kilometres an hour. That usually ends up with wrecked cars. So, although, as you correctly point out, Neil, Brad wasn't endorsing the problem at turn 6 that they had. He was basically saying it was a return of serve.
So Bright's been back into the pit lane, grabbed another set of tyres. Oh, there's more chaos down here. This time it's Jack Perkins, the run between 3 and 4. Gelben entry pointing the wrong way. And it looked as though someone else was tangled up in that as well. So did Jack do this as a solo performance? Or was it some form of duet down there?
I think it's a handful, Brother, I'm telling you now.
I think it was a handful, but it come out of one rather than that. Whoa, it's a solo. That is absolutely out of control. He's backed over that big, tall curb. Right out sideways for Jack Perkins. You don't often see a spin at the back end of that corner. It's very fast. It's got a mid-corner speed of 195 kilometres an hour. And he had full opposite lock on the car and then knew that he was going to spin. So he grabbed the brake pedal and tried to have a slow accident.
This is Fabian Coulthard. Left rear suspension is on the right of your screen. Is the Lockwood entry, 10th position at the moment. He's not totally happy. We spoke to him at the start of the race and he said we've got no excuses. We're just not quite there at the moment. It's coming off turn 4. You can see the stress go through the suspension and that left rear tyre, independent rear suspension in these new generation cars. It's second gear, minimum speed value in the middle of the corner is 95 kilometres an hour. It's quite quick. It's a funny corner and you've got to get it right. You've got to be very patient. Getting good drive off there dictates your pace, and Perkat's gone straight ahead at 5. So he's thrown away a bunch of spots. He's come back in. Is he behind Van Gisbergen? Yes, there he is. So I ask myself questions and then I answer them, which is a sign of something. I'm not sure what it is.
It'll get better.
You take something for it, I think. Winterbottom, he's got 1.2 seconds margin over Courtney, then Mostert, Whincup, McLaughlin, Van Gisbergen, Perkat, then Reynolds, Tander and Coulthard. That's your 10 barrettes.
Neil, just in Pepsi Max with Tim Edwards, and Tim, the last thing I want to do is put the Moz on you, but gee, looking good there with Frosty up front and Chaz Mostert in 3rd.
Yeah, but don't put the Moz on.
Okay, good. I won't.
14 laps to go, mate, so we're not there yet.
Good spot to be, though. Rather be there than down the other end.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, we knew we had good pace coming here this weekend, and obviously we didn't get to show it yesterday for a variety of reasons. So, yeah, it's encouraging at the moment, but 14 laps is a long way.
I'll go, wait a minute.
About 18 laps, 18 minutes of my life. It's going to feel like 24 hours.
Dave Reynolds going well as well. That's good news.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he's doing a good job. He's having a little battle with Perkat at the moment, so hopefully he can get past him and move forward. He's faster than Perkat, that's for sure.
Now, I did see you just grimace a little bit at Jack Perkins.
Well, I'm not quite sure what happened there. We only saw the aftermath of it, so I'm not quite sure what's happened there. But, yeah, fortunately he didn't touch any walls because obviously it's a tight turnaround between these two races. So
take a deep breath. I'll leave you alone. Thanks, mate.
Tim Edwards there, team principal, Pepsi Max Ford Performance Racing. There's David Reynolds with the tail wagging on the exit of turn 1. That was where Jack Perkins went off the road. I think the explanation for Jack is he's only got to be a little bit wide, get bumped on those undulations down there, and you're in the weeds and in strife. We're riding with the leader. He's got 1.6 seconds in hand over James Courtney. Remember, had a win at Winton last time out. He's second in the championship. He's doing a nice job, Mark Winterbottom here, of controlling the race, looking after the tyres. He's got good speed consistency. Here we are, turn 8, hairpin, first gear, 65 clicks. Quick breather, we'll come back to Auckland in just a moment.
Lap 23 to be completed this time by Winterbottom. He's controlling, he's moving away. Jason Bright's in another fight, side by side with Rick Kelly, who yields before they even get to this situation. Bright recovering, he's up to 16th, he's picking his way through the order. Rick Kelly, Will Davison next in the queue. He was the car that did not move off the grid and was tail end Charlie at the first corner on the first lap, so Will started to move his way forward. This is on board the side of the helmet of Rick Kelly in the Jack Daniels Nissan. But it's his brother Todd that is best of those Altimas in position 12. Here's a shot of the field. There's Mostert, there's Whincup, McLaughlin 5th, Van Gisbergen, Perkins next, then Reynolds, Tander and Coulthard. So we've settled into something of a rhythm here. What's McLaughlin got for the champ? Volvo are still chasing their first championship race when they did win a non-championship race at Albert Park at the Formula One support event in Melbourne. And there is a massive amount of fan support for McLaughlin. Plenty for Van Gisbergen and Coulthard too. The three-pronged Kiwi attack on V8 Supercar Racing. The new wave to take the mantle from the man who's been the king here, Greg Murphy, the 9-time race winner in V8 Supercars at this circuit, who's in action this weekend too in the New Zealand V8 Super Tourers. But Van Gisbergen's making a bit of time here. Lap 25, 11 to complete. And McLaughlin's looking strong. He's hanging on to Whincup, just starting to put the champ under some pressure. Mostert in front on target for his first podium for Ford Performance Racing. He was on the podium a few times last year with Dick Johnson Racing. Great shot out the back of the champ's Commodore. From the hairpin, first gear, 65 kilometres an hour, and then going on this wild ride. Couple of lefts, and through this fast right-hander. It's blind on the crest there, on the throttle 100% before they know where the road's going. They know from experience where it goes, but not from eyesight. It is one fast racetrack, Pukekohe. Lots of curve there, lots of curve there. Winterbottom's driving away though. The margin is 2.3 seconds now. Back to James Courtney. We're watching this fight for fourth. This is starting to heat up. Whincup, McLaughlin and Van Gisbergen. The distinct Swedish sound of the S60 with its 60-degree mounted engine. Completely different noise to what we're used to in V8 Supercars. Great work from Polestar in Sweden with the engine program. The Gary Rogers team with their chassis in Melbourne. This has been a great brand builder for Volvo being involved in this championship. McLaughlin is right in the fight. He runs position 5. It's the end of lap 26. Winterbottom leads.
What a crowd. What a day. It's a beautiful day in Auckland, and it's a 2.4 second margin, which makes it a lovely scenario for Ford fans at the moment as well, in favour of Mark Winterbottom over James Courtney, who was the pole sitter. James hasn't got a response right at the moment. How's the oil pressure for this man, Scotty McLaughlin? It's up there.
Oh, he's catching Whincup, so he's taking ground off him. He's battling for fourth position. Remember, he had the 2-spot penalty before the start of this race. Qualified third, went back to 5. He's currently in 5th. Have a look at this for a slide. This is Jack Perkins, has a tyre failure. So it's right out sideways. All the chunks of tyre coming out of that there. Can't really see it properly now because it's pulling fiberglass and composite material from the back of his Falcon. But as it gets right out sideways, then he gets out to the marbles. So all that debris on the edge of the road is super slippery. And this is Whincup. And down the inside goes Van Gisbergen and gets it done. That's weird. He lost a lot of ground, McLaughlin then.
And I think that Perkins incident is subsequent to what happened earlier to him. So that's a Mark II drama for him down there. So nice work here, Shane Van Gisbergen. And I'm surprised because it looked like the opposite was going to happen. It looked like McLaughlin was the one that was going to hustle Whincup out of position, and suddenly he's lost a little bit of momentum.
That's very strange. He was making ground on Whincup. He was looking like he had better car speed, much better exits. Wasn't quite at the point where he was going to be able to overtake Jamie. And then for Van Gisbergen to put a move on him at the hairpin was very strange. So Van Gisbergen up to 5th now.
Incidentally, Jason Bright, who did that pit lane drive-through penalty for his involvement in the incident with Tim Slade, came back in and grabbed some tyres. There's the point scenario as they sit at the moment, by the way. Here comes Bright. He's making moves here. Got fresh tyres and a quick car, and he's making it work. He's got some bump and grind going here with Todd Kelly. I'd suggest that Jason's in a frame of mind at the moment that's pretty determined. So look at that. It's just a 19-point margin. This is obviously changing all the time, but Bright's flying. He's up now to 12th position after basically being at the back of the field.
Well, he was absolutely last because at the restart, he wasn't even back to the field. So very, very good performance. Great speed, fresh tyres on that car, as Neil said. So after the pit stop now, Bright up to 12th. On board now with Rick Kelly, who's battling with his teammate James Moffat. They're in 16th and 17th. There's the gear changes. See the lights there. Let's see this with the gear number 5. That'll flick to 6. At the top of the screen is his number as a datum lap. You'll also see a lap number of the race, which is 29. And then you'll see the front bar and rear bar numbers on the bottom of screen.
But he keeps inconveniently moving it for you, Skate. It's a bit of a chase, isn't it? It's handy if it was drag racing for you right now. At least it stays in the one spot. Thanks for that. This is the bit of the racetrack that we all love. This run through turn 10 and 11. Big bump. Actually quite a bit of G-force generated here because you can see that Rick leans into the corner. Now he looks down, watches those shift lights, then starts to make a determination about how hard he wants to push into turn 1. Oh, his teammate was wide down there. Caruso, it is just in front of him.
You do it. You call this lap now.
I'm intrigued. I love watching it. 95 odd kilometres an hour, second gear in the run down the back straight. Now it's about clean shifts, not touching or popping that rev limiter. And Van Gisbergen's gone straight ahead at 5. This is a popular disease this weekend.
I think they do. Keep going now. Keep going. Eyes forward.
Jeff Slater, his engineer. So he was making big ground here on Jamie Whincup and he couldn't get it stopped. He hasn't marked those tyres though. He didn't lock up. Just released the brake pedal and gone straight ahead. Winterbottom's got 2.4 seconds over James Courtney now, so he's getting into cruise mode. So we're looking rearward from Rick Kelly's car. We were on board with him there before in the cockpit. I was just making the point that those clean gear shifts are very important here on that back straight. Try and anticipate them to the extent that you don't touch the rev limit, or even you just snick a shift ever so slightly and hurt the efficiency of the change by 50 to 100 revs, and it does impact the terminal speed.
Keep chipping away here, mate. 5 to go. 5 to go.
So Will Davison on the back of Rick Kelly. Just in front is Moffat and Lowndes 15th.
Mixed up, isn't it? And which just goes to show how hard it is to set the cars up for this racetrack.
Oh, Lowndes is being attacked. Might lose a spot here to James Moffat. He could lose a spot to Rick Kelly if Rick dives down there too.
This is having an impact on that points tally that you saw before as well.
So good pass there, James Moffat. Craig Lowndes started in 15th. He got slightly up to 14th and back now to 16th. So he's amazing for the series leader and for someone who's always been fast here to be buried in the field there like that.
And Lowndes said to me yesterday he was reasonably happy with the pace of the car, but he said, I really struggled with rear brake balance, particularly on that join at the end of the back straight. It just wasn't settled there. But look at the back of the car. Focus on the imagery there at the moment and you'll see it sliding. He's not making his apexes. In fact, he's just letting the car slide around. So whatever they did to it hasn't tuned it up, or the track is evolving and they haven't chased its evolution.
And just watch the body language. Neil's referring to using more road, way more road than Moffat and for Rick Kelly. Can't make the apex. He actually missed the apex onto the back straight. Just watch it through the fast stuff. Oh, that was rear locking, battling to get it stopped.
That's what he was uncomfortable with last night, and he and Jeremy Moore were working on trying to get that stability return the rear of the car. Here's the two quick corners in the final one. Little dab of brake before they come over the top at the right. That's Top Kelly. There's Lee Holdsworth. 13th and 14th. Check this out down at turn 1. Sliding on the exit, slide. Then he's got to get the weight to all shuffle across in the other direction. And he's having to slow it down a lot here, carrying a lot of brake on the run to 4. It was more accurate for him that time. That was a better look than the previous lap. Possibly, and Van Gisbergen straight ahead again at 5. That's the second occasion.
Again, you can argue whether this is right, that you can basically go back to your spot. There's been a lot of controversy about this. You go off the road, what is the real penalty? So Whincup just in front of him, McLaughlin just behind. So Winterbottom leading by 2.9 seconds. He's done a great job. He's been very, very fast in the races all year. Courtney has held position from losing that start with Winterbottom at turn 1. Pretty robust exchange with those two guys. Moss did a great bounce back from nowhere yesterday. Whincup, important championship points. Van Gisbergen has forged his way forward. McLaughlin clearly got caught there and made a little mistake from the 2-spot penalty that he had. Perkat in 7th, Dave Reynolds 8th, Tander and Coulthard 9 and 10. There's Lowndes. He's really struggling, Popo, to keep Rick Kelly at bay.
Well, the only way that he can drive the car straight at the moment is to drive it a little slower, and that's what's hurting him. Can't afford to bag it up, can't afford to be wagging the tail, superheat those rear tyres, make it even worse, and it just appears to be lacking slightly in brake stability.
This is Will Davison now, right up behind. You can also see there, watch the difference in the body language between the Nissan Altima and the Holden Commodore of Craig Lowndes. The way that the cars react to the first point of steering and the way that then Lowndes has to apply the brake and maintain some brake is the bit that he's complaining about, that instability. Also the way they ride the bumps. A lot of the cars in that particular zone then from 10 to 11 ride the bumps differently.
That battle that we were looking at there before was 15 to 19. It's like it's the World Championship, but those guys will lament what the result sheet reads like at the end of it, but they're still working incredibly hard. It was Ingle in 19th place, and here is our race leader, comfortable margin, 2.4 seconds.
And what I loved about his chat this morning was that he said he didn't drive very well yesterday. Mark Winterbottom was unhappy with his performance. He has bounced back very well, Crompo.
Bounced back brilliantly. He was the winner of race number 9 at Winton after a tough day on the Friday. 2 corners remaining. Nice, steady wheel work. And that is a very, very good drive by Mark Winterbottom to take victory in race number 11, the ITM 500 Auckland, and home by 2 seconds in the final analysis from James Courtney.
Yeah, no, I'll get back.
And it's a first and a third for this crew here. Pepsi Max Ford Performance Racing, Chaz Mostert. That's a mighty performance for him in 3rd spot. And for Mostert, that'll be season best result for him, particularly after the wild day yesterday. That's a nice reward.
It certainly is. And all the drama with his contact with David Wall at turn 11, and pretty uneasy night for him. He hasn't liked the car. He needed some more confidence in the car. He qualified better, but he raced very well then. Didn't get caught up in any of the early exchanges. And Winterbottom has also just, I think his performance there, he's just shown a very professional response. You've got to come back from bad days, and that was a fantastic drive, set up by a really good start and a very nice, smooth. They've had great car speed. A lot of the places we've said they should have won some of these races, but they have today shown that the car has a real ability to look after the tyres and maintain a very smooth race win.
Race win number 2 for Mark Winterbottom for 2014. Career victory number 25. And a big bundle of points that will eat a big chunk of that margin that Craig Lowndes enjoyed coming into this race number 11. So Winterbottom position 1. His rival in the championship, Craig Lowndes, finishing in 16th position. Congratulations to Frosty, that was nice work. Basically got it all done at the start. Got away beautifully on the clean side of the racetrack. And at that stage, really, thereafter, was just a question of gap maintenance.
It was, wasn't it? They're good drives, those ones, Neil. When you use your head, you don't go too fast, you don't make little mistakes. Great reaction from Ford fans. A lot of Ford fans in this part of the world.
Grant McPherson, his engineer. Remember, Pete Travaskis, his media man. Frosty, like Jamie Whincup, has a new engineer this year, so you've got to get those relationships working. They don't come easily. It takes time to learn, to understand, to speak the same language. But they've done a great job of that today in total harmony to get a terrific result. So Mark Winterbottom gets the job done over James Courtney and his teammate Chaz Mostert. Let's get down with Mark Barretto.
Hey, Frosty, congratulations. Great result. You told us just before you went out that it was all about their head and getting it in the right spot. Hey, you nailed it. That was a beautiful drive.
Yeah, it was really good. Obviously, the start was important to beat him off the line, and yeah, just to get the win's awesome. You know, I put my hand up. I drove bad yesterday, and I had a fair bit of redemption to pay the guys. They were up all night changing bolts and uprights and rear end, and you know, it was a bad day yesterday, but awesome to turn it around with a win.
Championship update. You trail Craig Lowndes by 18 points. This is right on now for this afternoon.
Yeah, it's right on. You know, we're hitting form, and it's starting to go quite well. So off 3 for the next one, which is a good position. Obviously got a reasonably good car pace. So, but yeah, awesome to get a Ford win here. I know the Kiwis have it a bit hard for the Ford side. I think that's number 3 in about 30. So hopefully we can make a few more this weekend. But thanks for keep supporting us and try and get another win.
Hey, great delivery. Well done. While you're here, we've got a magnificent trophy for you too. Congratulations from the team at ITM. And we're over to James Courtney now. An awesome result for James. It's been a great weekend already. And James, well done. A second for Holden. Good result.
Yeah, no, it was, first would have been better, but no, to come home second. You know, we got poled, didn't quite get the start we wanted. But no, Mark had good pace, so well done to Mark. And yeah, good points for us.
Can you squeeze a bit more out of the car in this next race?
Yeah, we didn't get a lap in the next qualifying, so we're starting 11th, so pole to 11th, so got our work cut out for us this afternoon, but car's running real good, so we'll fire through and put on a bit of show for everyone later on.
All right, great stuff. Please accept your trophy on behalf of ITM, our major sponsor. James Courtney, congratulations. And Chaz Mostert, an awesome result for you, 3rd on the podium. It has been an improving cycle this year to bed in with this team. That's a strong result.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been so excited to see number 3 come up. It's been a tough start to the year, and to be up on the podium with Frosty, it's fantastic. I can't thank the Car 6 team enough and all of FPR. Yeah, we got there. We finally got a podium. Really ecstatic for this year. So hopefully we just keep chipping along and get some more and hopefully jump up the standings a bit.
Chaz, how much more improvement is left, do you think?
In the car or myself?
Both.
I think a little bit more in the car, just getting me used to the car, and I think you know, every time I go out I'm learning something new, so it's fantastic to have a teammate with a wealth of experience like Frosty, because every time we go out we learn something new.
Well, it's really exciting for us to watch as well. We've got a trophy for you for 3rd place as well. Congratulations, Chaz Mostert.
Yeah, it's a great job, wasn't it? Here's confirmation of the unofficial results. And Mark Winterbottom, the race victory, just a whisker under 2 seconds, the margin in the final analysis from James Courtney and Chaz Mostert, who we just spoke to. And that is a nice, steady, solid points-earning performance for him, and to get on the podium, impressive. Jamie Whincup in search of that record 6th title, 4th position for him. Shane Van Gisbergen, it was a bit of a weird up-and-down race for Shane. Then McLaughlin, Perkat, Reynolds, Tander and Fabian Coulthard. Scotty Pye, nice work for Wilson Security. Jason Bright, big clawback, 12th position, basically was at the back of the field, as you suggested before. And all of that gang from Lee Holdsworth down to Russell Ingall.
It's wild.
It was a full-blown boxing match, wasn't it?